To think that the deity is simply Arche Vishnu, Shiladir, Gurushu Naramatir, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi, is all hellish consciousness. Vyasadeva, who we're worshipping today, what's his description of hellish consciousness? That someone will get out a machine gun and shoot 50 people dead, or throw some bombs. His description of hellish consciousness is to think that the deity is simply made of stone or wood, or to think that to judge the Vaishnava by some material qualification. This is a PhD Vaishnava, and this is an uneducated Vaishnava. This is hellish consciousness. So, if we're hypocrites, then we should simply, you're having nice prasadam, sitting in front of the deity, and the deity is standing there cold, no arrangement, may stay there all night. No one knows, and then next day I will sit and yes, you're so wonderful. And then someone will complain, oh, so heavy. You're lucky. You think the deity is made of brass, and someone's getting angry, you're lucky. You're so lucky that someone cares enough for you to instruct you. Will you take that instruction? You think, oh, I've been wronged. Why do you get so angry? It's not such a big thing. According to Vyasadeva, it's hellish consciousness. We're supposed to be developing Krishna consciousness. But if we come to Krishna consciousness but we don't develop Krishna consciousness, then we actually have more opportunity to develop hellish consciousness. Because as long as we're not in Krishna consciousness, we're just in hell. But if we come close to the Vaishnavas and the deity, and we think the deity is just made out of stone and the devotees are just some ordinary people, and this is a PhD Vaishnava, and this is an uneducated Vaishnava, and this is Brahmin Vaishnava, and this is Shudra Vaishnava. If we think like that, then we have more hellish consciousness. So this, trying to instruct as Prabhupada has instructed, that Prabhupada, his pranam mantra, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayane. His pranam mantra is for kicking out this voidism, impersonalism. Impersonalism means not to recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not to consider that I am meant to serve Krishna. It's impersonalism. Even if theoretically we accept Krishna as a person, but then which person? He's not just any person. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are meant to serve Him. So if we don't have an attitude of service to Him, then that's impersonalism. We haven't recognized what is our personal position in Krishna's service. We're meant to serve Him. And serve Him, not that, well, it's been a long day, we served you enough for today, so you just stand there and we'll make some arrangement for you later. We're going off to have dinner now, we'll come back and look after you later. And that's not service, that's impersonalism. Now, Prabhupada came to kick this out, but how deep-rooted it is. We may even do our Bhakti Shastra exam and explain very nicely why impersonalism is all wrong, but then it's only theoretical. Who's going to teach? Someone should try. Teaching means not just sitting in the classroom doing then you become a topper. I got 98% in Bhakti Shastri course. But that we'll see after Bhakti Shastri course. What are your activities? They shouldn't give any certificate or pass until 1 year after the course is finished. And then we'll see whether you pass Bhakti Shastri or not. We'll see in your life activity whether you're dedicated to serve Krishna. There should be a change in your life. If you've actually absorbed what is the message of Shastra, then there should be a change in our lives. The change should be that we become a sannyasi, actually. Sannyasi means to offer everything in the service of Krishna. Tridandi, the mind, body, words, Krishnate akila cheshtitam. Everything should be for the service of Krishna. So that should be seen. If we've heard Shastra according to Prabhupada, otherwise, if we've heard Shastra according to the Mayavadis, or we've filtered the pure Shastravani comes through parampara, comes all the way down from Krishna to Brahma, to Narad, to Vyas, to Madhvacharya, down through the whole parampara, to Prabhupada, then our own spiritual message, then reaches all the way down to our ear, and then we mix it up with Mayavad. And then it comes out again in our activity, again Mayavad. So we shall see how we've understood Shastra, with or without doing Bhakti Shastri course, in our activities, how we're hearing. Prabhupada said, the only question I asked of my Guru Maharaj, how I can serve you. That is the test, the litmus test of how we're hearing. The Prabhupada gave the example that if Prabhupada means it's parampara example. If a man is fertile, a man is potent and a woman is fertile, then by their coming together, a child will be produced. So in the same way, if the Guru speaks, what he speaks is potent, substantial, and the disciple is fertile, that means Sushrushu Shadadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi. Sushrushu means wanting to serve in a humble mood, with faith. Then the result will be that one will actually hearing, that will have its effect. Then one will gain taste for hearing and chanting with the service mood. Otherwise, the Mayavadis, they're also praising Vyasadeva. They also have their parampara, and Vyasadeva is there, and they also recite prayers to Vyasadeva. And the result is that they all go to hell, and anyone who hears them goes to hell. They're also supposedly praising Vyasadeva. But what is the result? They also perform Guru Puja on Guru Purnima. But we'll see the rest of the year, how does that manifest? In our activities, the rest of the year, at every moment. How does that manifest in our activities? So please consider this. What Prabhupada came to give us. Sambandha janiya bhajite bhajite Abhiman how dur amani manad hoile kirtane adhika dibe tumi. So as in so many of these songs of the Vaishnava Acharyas, we have the whole philosophy just in a few words, summarized in a few words. Just hearing, knowing what is our relationship, going on with the process of Krishna consciousness, becoming free from false prestige, developing the desire to serve. Then, by the grace of the Vaishnavas, we will be blessed with the eligibility to serve Krishna. These songs are so much important for our spiritual advancement. So, I've agreed to come here to be praised, knowing that praise is meant for Prabhupada, who wanted his disciples to preach as he has preached and bring more devotees to Krishna consciousness, to initiate, to take the responsibility of guiding others. This modern philosophy, Vidvik philosophy, says that you just read the books and someone does a ceremony and then you're initiated by Prabhupada. Now, who's going to tell you you're a rascal? You are a rascal. Well, who's going to impress that on you? Otherwise, you can just read the books. And what does it say in the books? Everything that Vyasadeva has said in relationship to Guru, that should just be reconstrued, edited, changed. One is supposed to serve senior Vaishnavas, and this Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur he offered sannyas. One of the reasons was to give the opportunity for junior devotees to serve senior devotees and be trained by them, that they formally take that position of guiding others. Because someone has to do it. If you say, well, you just read the book. Someone says that, you please guide me as Prabhupada guide. Well, you just read the book. That's all. And no exam, you just read the book. I'm going inside the room now to smoke a cigarette, and you just read the book and see what to do. But there should be some example how to follow. There should be some personal guidance, how to follow. So if we may say, well, in Ridvik system we also accept that, yes, senior devotees should be served, but they don't take any responsibility. We'll just perform the sacrifice and then you're on your own, you and Prabhupada, that's all. But Prabhupada never said like that. He gave his disciples the responsibility that you take responsibility for others. It's copying out of the responsibility. It is a heavy responsibility, but that can be discharged by following what Prabhupada has taught us, teaching others to follow what Prabhupada has taught, practically also. That guidance should be there. And Prabhupada also acted through his disciples and through the whole ISKCON movement. So we have plenty of guides if we look for that. But still our Krishna consciousness is not being impersonal. There should be some focus, someone who we can go to ultimately and ask, what shall I do? How should I serve? We do have help. We're not alone. So this Ritvikism idea might seem to be a very good idea. That would solve all our problems of incompetent gurus. Guru is competent if he's teaching what Prabhupada is teaching. If he's teaching like that, if he's a guru. If he's not teaching like that, he's not fit to be a Ritvik either. So what's the idea? That you just do a ceremony and then leave them on their own, but you're not even fit to do the ceremony. If you're not following, their idea is that we're following Prabhupada, therefore we should be Ritviks. But if you're following Prabhupada, then you should take the responsibility to guide others, to understand that we are servants of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has very kindly manifested himself in this world as his holy name, as the deity, as his place of pastimes, as the devotees. So we should serve these forms of the Lord, learn how to serve. Even there's some inconvenience, we should not give up our service. There's some idea that, well, Guru, there's some paper written called the humble Guru. In other words, that you can be a Guru, but just don't be too much of a Guru. Be humble about it. If you're not humble, then you can't be a Guru. Part of that humility is as Prabhupada said, do as I am doing. So to accept devotees' desire to serve Krishna, to accept that, to collect that, to offer that to Prabhupada, who offers to his Guru, who offers to his Guru, who offers to his Guru, to collect that and to encourage devotees in their desire to serve Krishna, to fan the spark, as Prabhupada said. That is the service which the humble servant of the Parampara has to attempt to perform to the best of his ability. And the rest is up to the individual, to the disciple. Even in the presence of the Supreme Lord, Kala Krishna Das, even in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell down. Or even Krishna, he tried to convince Duryodhana that I, Krishna, am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Duryodhana wouldn't be convinced. He had his independence. And even Krishna is directly standing in front of him and exhibiting Vishvarup, and still he refused to accept. So the stubbornness of the conditioned soul then there's nothing you can do. But at least it is the duty of the devotees to try to help others come to Krishna. And if one comes forward with the idea that I want to serve, now I want to become a servant of the Vaishnavas, then it's the duty of those who are who have been accepted as the servant of the Vaishnavas to accept them and to help them on the path. But then again, if having come on the path, if they again choose to go off the path, that is their own misuse of their independence, that's their own misfortune. Prabhupada had great faith in the process of Krishna consciousness and in the mercy of the acharyas. With this faith he came to America, where preaching Krishna consciousness was impossible. To some extent possible in India, but in America it was impossible. Now it's possible, thanks to Srila Prabhupada's faith in the mercy of the holy name and the mercy of the acharyas, in the process of Krishna consciousness, and his untiring, selfless endeavor to bring that to America and to the world. So we should have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. Go on with that, knowing we have good shelter. If we stick in this line, first we have to get into the line. The line going back to Godhead is simply this point. Everything is, we are meant for serving Krishna. It seems like a simple point. Theoretically, like I say, we may write the exam. Jiva Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. But to live that, to internalize that, if we can do so, then that is our path back to Godhead is opened. And if we don't do that, then Krishna consciousness is our religion. Then we can go to the interfaith conference representing Hinduism. We have Hindu Vaishnav or Vaishnav Hindu or some other Jati Buddhi. When we understand Vaishnav is, the position of a Vaishnav is beyond any mundane designation. Nirupadi, no mundane designation. Our designation is the servant of Krishna, who is adhok saja. Krishna is not attainable through any mundane method. Krishna is beyond the three modes of material nature. Krishna has nothing to do with this, with the contaminated consciousness of this material world. Just to understand this point, then our path back to Godhead is clear. But to understand this point, how many times do we have to hear? Hopefully sometime this may enter our ears. The dirt from our ears will get cleaned, and that will enter our hearts, not simply our minds. If we can understand this point, I'm simply meant for the service of Krishna. So I'm repeating this again and again, preaching to myself and to yourselves simultaneously, that we are simply meant for the service of Krishna. Just understand this. Everything else will follow from that. Then we can chant Hare Krishna. Then we can serve the Vaishnavas. Then we can serve the deity. Otherwise, unless we understand that, then what's the difference? There are so many people worshipping Krishna. You'll find in India so many temples. They have Krishna here, Ganesh there, Sai Baba on the other side. They're also doing worship. And what's the difference? We say, no, in our home We're only worshipping Krishna, except sometimes Ganesh Chaturthi, or sometimes we worship demigods, but we worship them as Vaishnavas to help us get rid of all our material obstacles so that we can have a happy life in this material world and worship Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings begin from Savadhaman Parityaja. That's already there for those who are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Supposed to be. Very high things to teach. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taught us such high things. Amishananda Shukada Vashi, Radhika Madhava Charanadasi. He says, you see me living here in Swananda Sukada Kunj? Who do you think I am? You might think that this is Kedarnath Datta Babu, but he himself is performing his bhajan as a maidservant of Radhika Madhava. So these things he's teaching. But first, let's get these things right. We have a very high destination. And we can go very quickly if we get the basics right, if we can understand this. But if we don't get these basics right, then we can sing all day and night all these very high songs. We won't understand even a single word of it, even we think we do. We can talk this gopi, that gopi, and so many, we won't understand a single word. So let's get the basics right. Let's first of all understand who is Krishna, who is the deity, what is the name of Krishna, understand all these things. Then our path will be clear. And if I can serve you in this respect, as Prabhupada has ordered me to do so, then I shall certainly attempt to do so. But you have to do your part also. Often we hear this, oh, you have to have a Paramahamsa Guru. And who's going to say? The Paramahamsa Guru means they should always be talking Radha Krishna Leela. Then Prabhupada wasn't a Paramahamsa. And then you see this, so many, they went to Paramahamsa Gurus and now they're not even following four regulated principles. So Guru might have been a Paramahamsa, but may or maybe not. Actually, I have my doubts. If they're talking all Krishna Leela and not teaching you that Arche Vishnu Shila Dhir Guru Shu Naramati, if they're emphasizing so much gopis and they're presuming that we already know, we're already gone beyond all the basic levels, they just presume that. I have my doubts because I don't see that devotees are becoming so advanced so quickly. I mean, we're getting practical evidence of that regularly. The devotees saying the deity is made of wood. That I was just saying that God is wood and wood is God. Wood is God means from the wood they make paper, from the paper they make money. So we've taken the deity as just a piece of wood or metal, and metal is God, or wood is God. So we may say we should have a Paramahamsa Guru who will teach us so many high things. We'll teach you high things. But first, understand the basic points. Otherwise we see there's so many there going to Paramahamsa Gurus, and you talk with them and they'll talk gopis, and they'll go home, pat their dog on the head and turn on the TV. So many. This is called sahajya, rascal. And they're thinking Paramahamsa. I know you're just talking basic things. And we'll talk basic things, what you need to hear. When you're ready to hear, then we may talk other things, but that also not in public. You need a Paramahamsa Guru. Difficult to say who's a Paramahamsa, but it's very easy to say who's not a Paramahamsa, who's talking in public about the gopis. Definitely not a Paramahamsa. So many leelas, all these things. That means they're not teaching what the person needs to hear. They're not teaching in the mood of service, how to help others come up to Krishna consciousness. But for the sense gratification of the hearers, and so that they will be lauded as great devotees, they like to tell stories. There are already so many cheats like that. Why add? Prabhupada didn't come to add to the number of cheaters. He came to add to the number of real devotees. So taking Prabhupada's name, if we simply increase the cheaters, that's worse cheating, because Prabhupada came to teach non-cheating religion, dharma, projata, kaitava atra, paramo nirmat saranam satam, a person's for non-envious people who don't envy Krishna. They don't want to rob from Krishna, that Krishna should be glorified, no, I should be glorified. So such persons, they should glorify Krishna. Actual glorification of Krishna. Nivritta tarshai rupagiya manat avoshodat chotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanavananam puman virajeta. What's the next line? What's the next line? Pashugna. That those who are free from material desires, they will glorify Krishna. They will take pleasure in glorifying Krishna, which is it's very pleasing to hear, and that's the medicine for material life. Who will not agree to do that? One who is a Mayavadi, who's killing himself. So, by not teaching Krishna consciousness according to the parampara system, by teaching it according to our own speculation or according to our desire for name, fame and glory, then we become cheaters and hypocrites. And by not being prepared to accept the budding devotional service of others and offer that in parampara to Krishna, then we also become hypocrites. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us not to be hypocrites. Sharalta hi Vaishnavta. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, simplicity is Vaishnavism. Simplicity means no big show. You don't make a big show, that pretending to be something you're not. So instead of pretending to be something we're not, we shall proudly say that I am fortunate enough to be accepted by Prabhupada in his service, and I will try my best to help you become situated in that service also. And for that purpose, this Vyasa Puja ceremony is arranged so that you can see where to go to get your direction, to go to Prabhupada, to go to Krishna, to go through the parampara. Someone who's taken the order from Guru to preach Krishna consciousness, then he should accept the offering of thankfulness. Offer that up to the parampara. This is the direction you have to go. Not that you read the book, you're on your own, but there's a focus, there's a place to go. This is where your bhakti should go. And what is the qualification to collect that bhakti and offer it up? The qualification is that one should simply represent what he has heard. So we should not be hypocritical and deny that yes, we want to teach as Prabhupada has taught, and that is our only qualification for being here and accepting this praise which is meant for the great devotees who are serving Krishna and who have given us their mercy. So on this basis, this festival should go on. So thank you all for coming. Please try to understand what Krishna consciousness is, how we should serve Krishna, how we should serve the Vaishnavas, how we should serve Guru. I'm just going to make one or two announcements. I'm also going to thank the organizers. Usually that's done at the end of the festival. But what happens is everyone's gone by the end of the festival. There's only a few people left. So this is a little bit out of order, but we should thank the devotees who've been working hard to arrange this festival so that you can all come here and participate in this. So before you leave, you all please personally thank the organizers. Hari Krishna Prabhu is here. Murli Vadan Krishna, is he here? He's probably organizing something. Yeah, he's organizing something. He's there. Who else is there? Jagadishva. Where is he? He's organizing something? They're running around. He's running around organizing. Radhika Pati Das. So you please, before you leave, you express your thanks to them. Another announcement, devotees are... I'm repeatedly being asked, what is your schedule? Where are you going? What are you doing? And when is your book coming out on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? So hopefully, so that I don't have to answer this question more times, I'll give the answer as best I can now. Well, the answer to both is actually, I don't know. What is your schedule? I'm here, then I'm going to Chennai, then Vellore, then back to Chennai, then Calcutta, Mayapur, to do what's supposed to be my last little bits of research on Bhaktisiddhanta book. And then I don't know exactly where I'm going, but it's my concentration now. So I know you want to call me here and there, but it's in my mind, but later. Let me finish this first. Let me concentrate on this. When will the book be ready? I don't know. Glorification of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur looks like it's going to... I want to glorify him eternally. So... this book is... the work on it's being... we're now in the 21st year. So... you please bless me that this can be my eternal service to glorify the parampara. But you also please pray that this book be published before too long. Yeah, but you can't, that's what they say, bring out volume 1, but then it's not that you just do research and then one part and then it's finished and then you do it. It doesn't work like that. That's the disease of our materialistic thinking. We think we can put everything in a box, see like this part is finished. Now I finished this module, now you go on to the next thing. But everything about him is unlimited. I do have one new book. Can show that? One book just came from the press. It's all right, we can leave it. All right, closed open. This is you got on the cover. This is collected Back to Godhead articles about my travel, about different holy places. So it's been printed as a book now. So one way or other, I brought out a new book. Many thanks to the devotees who produced that. So that's available at the book table. One more announcement, that devotees who are supposed to be initiated by myself tomorrow, please bring beads to me, and they should be offered to the deity with your name on them, with the bead on the 8th string. If you don't understand all that, who can show this, what needs to be done for the... You know how the bead should be? On the 8th string there should be, in this, yeah. So, bring your beads, actually give them to Sri Giridhari, stand up. Give your beads to Sri Giridhari Prabhu, and he'll check that it's all in order. And the name should be on a string and offered. And the recommendation should be there also. All these things. Today is also the Vyasa Puja celebration of His Holiness Rongpad Swami, who has some disciples in Hyderabad and probably quite a few more aspiring disciples. So you can also, especially the Hyderabad devotees who he's helping a lot by coming here regularly, can also offer your gratefulness to him in helping you to serve Srila Prabhupada.